Go, go, go.
Who is it?
You can say hi.
Who is it?
It's Holden. I think
Hi, Holden.
say hi.
Hi. Hey guys, thank you so much for supporting us and watching our videos. If you'd like to support us some more and get some of our merchandise like this awesome apron, be sure to check out our website at thecarnivorerevolution.com. Hey everybody, welcome to the Carnivore Revolution. I'm Serena, and today I have with me my friend and fellow carnivore, Alyson Owens. Alyson, thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
And Alyson is a new mom. And one of the reasons I wanted to talk to Alyson today is I wanted to talk about being a carnivore and pregnancy, and then also nursing. So let's start with your story, though, of how you became a carnivore, or basically, I know you're not 100% carnivore, you're meat-based, but let's talk about how that happened for you, what that journey was like.
Well, my husband, Matt Owens, he loves to read anything and everything, and he gets very fixated on health and everything out there basically that has to do with health. And he was listening to a podcast, got really interested in carnivore, and he wanted to start it about 2 years ago, I guess. And I wasn't quite on board, but I do love meat, and told him I would give it a try. I lasted it about 10 hours. And then I wanted to just have a little bit of fruit because it was in the middle of the summer, and watermelon and all that stuff. And I was really excited or I wasn't excited to give that up. So I was excited to have some watermelon that day. And I just gradually over time started to really focus on eating meat first. And then if I still need some kind of fruit, I'll do that. But usually I would say I am probably like 90% carnivore, maybe a little less, a little more given the day. And we'll have a little bit of maybe avocado or berries here and there, and definitely have yogurt from time to time as well. That's pretty much that start. And then I also have a background with PCOS and Hashimoto's. So Matt was really reading up on a lot of people who have had improvements with PCOS or Hashimoto's, and then especially fertility, which obviously perked my interest a bit more because with our first two kids, I think one of them's walking in right now. But with our first two kids, we had to do IUI, which is like insemination. So I had to take fertility drugs and track my cycle. Holden, can you go see daddy, please? Go, go, go.
Who is it?
You can say hi.
Who is it?
It's Holden. I think.
Hi, Holden.
Say hi.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah. Can you go back outside though, buddy? I love you. Okay. Well, I'm going to keep talking. Okay. But yeah, so the fertility part really perked my interest, and we obviously, we knew we wanted to have a third kid, and I was hoping with the third one, maybe we could have a natural one. And after probably about a year of eating this way and this new lifestyle of basically no processed food, really focus on meats and steaks, and I ended up getting pregnant on accident, which was great because again, we wanted a third, but happened a little faster than we wanted. But that just goes to show, I mean, we spent years trying to get pregnant, and we weren't able to without the added fertility drugs, all the tracking, everything. And it was really exciting. So that was kind of that part of the story. And then went through most of the pregnancy. My lights keep flickering. I don't know why, but with most of the pregnancy, I would again say I probably dropped down to maybe 75% carnivore for the first trimester, just because I was very nauseous this time, morning sickness this go around, and all throughout the day, on and off. So there was days where I just had to have crackers, and rice was one of my other things, or sourdough. I tried to focus on some of those more less toxic and less processed stuff. But then I got back on as close as I could, again, with some fruit here and there. But that was probably at like 16 weeks, and then gave birth to a beautiful baby girl, and been nursing, and
and feeling good. And she is beautiful. So you started carnivore after Kenton was born or before?
After, just after. Or
Okay.
something like that. Yeah.
So you were nursing at the time.
Yep. Yeah, I was nursing at the time. And that's also why I was reluctant when Matt
Yeah.
told me that. I was like, I do not want to lose my supply. And
Right.
with him, so Kenton was, yeah, like just born.
Okay.
And I was having issues anyways because he had torticollis and reflux. So I just got really real nervous that, you read all this stuff about how oatmeal, you got to have a gazillion more calories per day to improve your supply, and you got to do this and that, and it's all confusing, and it conflicts very much with carnivore.
Yeah.
So I wasn't on board right away, but once I got there, I was really, I was pleased also to see how my body changed. I
Yeah.
felt better. I was less inflamed. I felt like every night I felt really groggy and bloated, and it just wasn't fun. So once all that went away, I was like, oh, you know what? Maybe this isn't how life is supposed to be.
Exactly right. People are so sick and so inflamed and so bloated all the time, and they just don't know it because they don't know what the other side is
Yeah.
like. It's a crazy thing to be on the other side and then be looking back at where you were because that's where all your friends still are.
Right.
It's um you almost feel a little bit guilty sometimes. Do you feel like that? Like when you feel so good and then
Well, yeah. And I also feel like I don't want to get too preachy with some of my friends or family. I'm like, I just wish everybody would get
yeah,
rid of eating green vegetables, because that was what a huge
yeah,
indicator for me was when I stopped eating that I felt so much better.
yeah, really insane because that's what we're told to eat the most of,
Yeah.
right?
I was
It's
trying
just
to eat spinach smoothies every day
yep,
and hated them, but
yeah. So what about your friends and family? Did you get any backlash from them? Did anybody give you a hard time when you switched?
really, I think that sometimes my friends just kind of uh, just get overwhelmed, or not overwhelmed. I guess they just get tired of hearing me talk about it sometimes, and that's okay. And I just say sorry, but maybe just don't eat so many canola oil, so much canola. That's one of the things. And I also just always go on and on about how, again, the green vegetables made me so inflamed and feel like
Yeah.
crap. And
Mhm.
when I don't eat that, I feel better. And
Yeah.
I think some of them kind of don't believe it, but
Mhm. That's true. I went to a basketball tournament recently for my girls. We were gonna be gone all day, and I had, like, preheated some, like, sausages with cheese inside and a big, thick, like, more natural hot dog, and I had brought some pork rinds, and so I'm in the bleachers eating that, and one of the moms gets up and goes and gets a cinnamon roll, and she said, "I was hoping you wouldn't be sitting here when I got back because I knew you were gonna say, this would make me feel bad afterwards," and I was like, "I wasn't gonna say anything, and I
right,
appreciate it." She was like, "You were right. It made me feel bad." I said, "I didn't even say it. You did." I was
right,
like,
right,
"I didn't even say it was gonna make you feel bad. You said it was gonna make you feel bad and said that I was gonna say it, but I didn't say it."
right,
But
right,
people are always apologizing to me like, "I'm sorry, but I'm eating the bun," or "I'm sorry, but I'm having the fries." Like,
right.
no,
It's
it
your life, your decision.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
absolutely.
I think sometimes other people, like if you're like me, did you go through lots of different diets through your life and lots of different phases with foods and stuff? So I think other people kind of get
Yeah,
burned out on that. Like, oh, here she goes talking about something else again. Do you feel like
yeah,
that?
yeah. I think I've never been as passionate about something, so I never really talked about it. Um, with if I was on a specific diet or eating less carbs or anything like that, I always felt a little bit more bashful or shy or embarrassed to talk about it. I didn't really want to share that part of my life. But
Yeah.
now, because again, it's actually working and I do feel better, and I think that it could make a difference for so many, I do end up talking about it a little bit more than people probably like to. But yeah, I would say in the past, I never really
Mm,
talked about diets as much. So I think hopefully my friends and family actually see that difference and
yeah.
take it a
Yeah.
little.
So back to nursing real quick, because I know
Oh
there
yeah.
are a lot of people that have questions about that. Are you noticing a difference this time versus like your last pregnancies? And I know, you were nursing with Kenton
Mhm.
when you switched, but are you eating about the same now as you were then, or are you eating like less carbs now that you know how well carnivore works? Like, how has your mindset changed
Yeah,
there?
I would say I'm eating probably similarly, but better,
Okay.
and probably eating a bit more. I feel like we kind of talked about it a little bit before. I think that when I was breastfeeding with Kenton and trying to do it, it wasn't as easy, I guess. And I would still probably eat more fruit than I needed to. This time I am a lot more regimented about eating the meat first, getting that meat in, getting full, and then making sure I'm coming for that next meal and eating our power pucks, as I was saying, or
Mhm.
any of our products, or even just like a quick protein shake, to making sure I'm getting that good protein and fat
Yeah.
for our little baby girl. And I
Yeah.
would say that the supply this time it's so hard to tell because this time I didn't want to pump at all. I just started pumping this week a little bit, or just like letting my body do like if I'm nursing her, I'll do the collection cup on the other side a
Yeah.
little bit.
Mhm.
But I wanted to see if I could just like nurse her as often as possible, as opposed to nursing and then trying to build up the extra supply by
Mhm.
pumping after and all that stuff. So I tried to just really not do that. Now that she's 4 weeks, she's actually 5 weeks today, and she's over 8 pounds, I'm going to start doing it more, but she hasn't been hungry. I haven't seen any of those crazy signs that I did with my first two, where I was like, are they getting enough? And it was always a question mark. And
Mhm.
I haven't had that at all, really, with
One of
her.
the things that Alyson and I were talking about off camera is before we started is we were talking about under eating is just such a huge issue. And I was saying that I probably have been interviewed about 15 times where I have talked about how common it is to undereat, how I gained weight in the beginning, 18 pounds actually in the first 8 months by undereating, and how hard it is to make sure that we eat enough. And that's why I track sometimes. And it's so important to make sure you eat enough. Like 90% of women that come to me that are having a problem with carnivore, it's because they're not eating enough. And lo and behold, I've gained about 10 pounds in the last 6 months from under eating. So I need to go back and watch all of my other interviews where I talk about how terrible under eating is, because it's just so easy to do. And that's what we were talking about, is just that you get busy in the morning and you don't eat breakfast until 10 or 11 o'clock. And then you're not really hungry again until 3 or 4. And you end up doing 2 meals instead of three, when really we probably need the 3 meals to be sure that we're getting enough calories in. And a lot of women have a hard time understanding that it's not a race to see who can eat the least, because
Right.
that's where we get into trouble, that we really do need those 3 meals. And everybody always wants to restrict to mad, oh mad. Everybody wants to eat 1 or 2 meals a day, when really as women, we don't give ourselves enough credit, and we really need those 3 meals most of the time to have
Yeah.
the energy that we need. And you were saying, that for you, it's the same way, and you try to get those meals in because of the baby. And
Right.
it's so important. And even our friends, like my whole life, my friends have the same issues as me with under eating. Have you always kind of felt like that? Like you get busy and you forget to eat?
Oh yeah, all the time. And I'm a lot more conscious of it now that I'm nursing right now. And I've noticed, on a side note, as I've been focusing on eating more again, because I don't want my supply to dip, I've noticed that my metabolism is better. And that's what I think we screw up so much, is when we're not eating enough, our metabolism gets screwed for a week or a month or longer. And I've definitely seen a difference where I feel better again. And in that sense where I just feel like everything's just nice and flowing.
Yeah, and I think if most women knew about the undereating issue and how serious it is, even like one of the times that I realized I was undereating, I was doing Weight Watchers and I was following the plan perfectly, but I couldn't lose weight. And I think if women knew that it really is, you really do have to have enough calories. And if you could figure out a way to track that and go back and look like a few days after you've eaten too few calories, you might realize that you're really tired one day. And
Yeah.
it could be
Yeah.
from 2 days before that, from where you hardly ate. And
Or
it's really,
you don't sleep well, maybe
yes.
too. And that's,
Yeah,
yeah.
so, keeping a journal or something like that, I know it's a pain, and a lot of people don't wanna track and don't wanna have to do that, but if you would just take a couple of weeks and write down, you don't have to get a fancy app if you don't want to, just write down what you're eating, how often you're eating, how many times a day you're eating, and you might realize that there is a relation to, like, what you're eating
Feel.
and how you feel,
Yeah.
right?
And it's as simple as having your notes on your phone. That's what I
Yeah.
do with my nursing. And
Mhm.
lately, I've actually been trying to keep an idea of when I am eating. Like, when did I eat breakfast? Okay, it was at 10. And then that means I need to eat something else a little bit later, or get up and have an electrolyte drink and something small. It's hard when you're nursing. And I feel like the whole morning is spent nursing her once, fall back asleep, nurse her again, and then eat something. But yeah, trying to
Yeah.
focus on getting a little bit more in the morning.
Yeah, so let's touch on Power Pucks real quick, because Matt, who I interviewed, the interview aired probably about a week ago with Matt. And I love your company. I love the no seed oils and no sugar. I think it's a great product. And so I want to talk about how that happened, what you think about this little passion project of math, and how those have come in handy for you at this time with
Yeah.
having a new baby. They're so portable and it makes it so easy to just grab some good healthy fats and protein.
Yeah. Well, Matt is a person that can't do anything half-assed. He never has and he never will. So when
Mhm.
he went into carnivore, he went 100% and was exploring. You'll probably have heard this story if you listen to the other podcast, but just in short, he wanted to find a good snack for our kids and that didn't have seed oils, that had good protein, good fat. And so he started making the Power Puck and then has now shifted into some other things. And so I've been supportive, obviously, as his wife, and helped him with a lot of more of the branding and then like coming up with logos. And then with as far as the Power Puck, we added in the pork rinds, a suggestion from me,
Mm.
only because I didn't love the Power Pucks without it.
Yeah.
I needed something a little bit more crunchy. Um, Crunchy. We love
Yeah.
that word, Serena and I.
We're crunchy moms.
Yeah, we are crunchy moms. And yeah, so I don't know. I think that it's just kind of spitballed from there and it's been a lot of fun actually. It's always fun watching Matt get really into something and get really passionate. I mean, he's like that in everything in his life. And so it's been fun to do something together other than our family.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So as we wrap it up here, I just want to thank Alyson and Matt. They have been a true inspiration for me with my tallow lotions. And this is just like a side note for you guys. If you have an opportunity to go to a meetup, I highly recommend it because I
Oh,
have
yeah.
made some really good friends at meetups. And I talk to Matt and Alyson probably almost on a daily basis at this
Mhm.
point, just about life in general, about our food. We share memes with each other. We send messages back and forth about other people that we know from online, like getting
Mhm.
ideas and things like that.
Yep.
So it's really been a blessing to me, and I thank you for that, and thank you guys
Well, thank
both
you.
for being really
And we love
supportive.
your products too, Serena, by the
Thank
way.
you.
And I also think it's so funny to think back that a year ago, how many months ago? Not even 6
Yeah.
months ago, we
Yeah.
didn't even know each other. You
No,
were flying out to stay at our
I know.
house,
I
and
know.
now we're great friends,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's
We had
wonderful.
never spoken, and I showed
Yeah,
up at their house, like, almost in the middle of the night and found my room and went to bed and woke
yep,
up to a full house with them and their kids in the morning, and it was really awesome,
yeah.
and it's made a difference in my life. So if you guys have a chance to go to a meetup, I highly recommend it. Get online, find yourself one, and go meet some, like, real good and, have some really good new friends from it. So
Yeah.
that's just my little
And we'll
tip
be
there.
doing one in Denver next year.
I know, I'm coming. You save a room for me.
That's right, we will.
Absolutely. We'll be inviting people all over the place.
Yep.
Okay, Alyson, this was wonderful. I think you had some really good tips for people who are pregnant and or nursing.
Mhm.
And I just think that you guys are amazing and I love your family very much. Thank you so much for hanging with me.
Thank you so much for having me.
And thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time on the Carnivore Revolution.